Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition. I keep saying good evening. This show drops in the morning. We really got to change that.
You can say
Good morning,
evening,
Cleveland.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Oh, Tim the Tapman right there. It is another episode of In This Very Ring right here on A2D Radio. I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I am the man they call Ritz. Shut up. Joining me as he does each and every, I don't even know what the hell night it is anymore. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Pete Evans. And it's the mayor of Toasty Town Butters. Screw the intro. We're bypassing the damn thing.
What symbol was that, Butters? Put those hands up again. Put those digits up.
I don't know if you want to do that.
I don't even know what the hell I did. I just fucking threw something up.
I knew it. That's why I challenged you.
I can't wait to watch this back tomorrow because I was not looking at the camera. I can't wait to watch this back. And see what
it looked like he had a run-in with Pete Dunne.
Oh, hell.
Oh man. Before we came on, we start recording, we talked about the weather. The weather is crazy. Mother Nature she doing some things across this country.
Somebody done pissed her off. She's out for blood.
Yes, she is.
It's like somebody didn't pay her child support.
It's at the time of the month. I don't know.
Look, I'm back on.
These kids that got her damn nerve.
I'm back on my bullshit of watching Wild and Out. So anytime I get a chance to make jokes, I'm gonna make jokes. We're in for a bad night tonight.
Shit.
But before we got on the air, we started talking about the Seth Rollins Finn Balor match, and we were about to get into something very interesting. And before, like, you guys get into your bit, because I have some things to say about the match.
Okay.
I have never watched what should have been on paper a fantastic match. Watch two dudes just show their age more than ever, because, like, it's okay if, like, they would have gone with the Finn Balor injured knee bit and just ran with that. But then you had to have Seth have messed up ribs and, like, Finn's hobbling. Seth's, like, crunched over holding his ribs. It's like, wait a minute. We watching the retirement home fight, or are we watching the main event of Monday Night Raw?
So to those who watch this, so I'm in the Northeast. These fine gentlemen here are in another part of the country. I had no power. So looks like I dodged a proverbial bullet by not watching this match. I don't have these critiques. I still have a critique, and I didn't even watch it. But it sounds like, Ritz, based off of what you just stated, if those familiar when you watch this, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, grumpy old men and then grumpier old men, Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, the great comedic duo. It sounds like it was that, but it's obviously they're not that. Just the idea, just the strategic, the strategy behind the match and who put it together, the producer, which we can find that out some point down the road. You probably wouldn't have produced this match that way, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have gone that route. I would have, if you're gonna put Seth over, right? We know Seth has injury after injury after injury, right? You want to focus on those? Great. A little interesting to see them focus on the rib injury, not necessarily like the back or the neck, but it made sense given Finn's coup de grace. That would have been a great way to put Finn over, which I think was kind of overdue at the same time, too. You know, I'm a big Finn Balor guy. I don't like heel Finn. Been very vocal about this Judgment Day run is awful, especially after a relatively decent promo early on in the night. None of you bitches won. Raquel lost. You lost. Liv got the brakes beaten off of her. Like, no one. Dom lost. No one walked out of this thing successful.
Yep.
And like you were supposed to have like this big pep talk, and it was god awful.
Against the wall, right?
Right. And so, all right, but then you're gonna do Finn has the leg injury. Well, that doesn't play into anything with the finish, given the stomp. You know, he doesn't even. Well, no, I'm sorry. At one point, he goes for what was it, the ankle lock or the no. What is he? Do? Yeah, sharpshooter. He does the sharpshooter, but that's not the finish. That doesn't play into it. So it's like, guys, how did we produce? You guys really picked the wrong. I thought it was a decent match, right? Aside from the bullshit, especially of the finish. We'll get to it. I know that's what Butters is going to bring up. I thought it was a decent match aside from the finish, but you're both former world champions. They put up the graphic. I put it on the TV. The graphic for Seth Rollins took up a third of my TV for all his accomplishments.
You know whose list is longer?
You gonna say the Miz?
No, Kofi.
Kofi's.
Now, my thing is, if I pay, obviously they were in Charlotte, North Carolina. If I pay and I get it, and you don't know the card, you don't know the main event. Seth versus Finn, who sneakily they changed Finn's music again back to the old stuff. Because remember when he came at the Rumble, we were like, we heard this hip hop.
Who is this?
Who is this? And it was Finn Balor. I thought he was going to SmackDown, right? But obviously they made Priest over there. Judgment Day definitely needs a new coat of paint. I have some ideas, but two of the people that they could have put Finn with, they released recently, and they had history, and they could have had like a Judgment Day Civil War, whatever you want to call it, right? I just don't. Seth versus Finn to close out a Monday Night Raw with everything else that's going on. Tell me you don't have anything without telling me you don't have anything.
Well, and like, I love it that you brought that up because we were talking, Butters and I at least were talking this morning about putting the show together for tonight. And it was really like, man, he brought up Vengeance Day. And look, I'm not dumping on Vengeance Day, right? But we're recording this, 7 minutes after, 15 minutes after Raw ended. You mean to tell me there's nothing on Raw, no big story, no nothing that we can lean on, other than Elimination Chamber? Obviously, we have the Chamber set, and I think we can have a fun conversation with that. Mm-hmm. But you have nothing for me, really? And
that's where I'm like, hey, Braun Breaker, IC title could have showed your face. Lyra showed her face tonight. She was outside. She was for the number one contenders match. But something, even if he could have ended it with Raquel versus Roxanne Perez. I mean, Roxanne Perez had a cold entrance. I mean, like shit. The only other person that had a cold entrance tonight of Raw was Pete Dunne. Like Roxanne Perez 2 days ago was this in the PLE for you. Like the universe knows who she is, and obviously you want her to get over because she qualified for elimination chamber, right? Yep. So that would have been a shot. I mean, anything. And once again, we've seen Seth versus Finn all 2023. That took us through the whole summer, right? Seth and Finn couldn't get it done, and now all of a sudden we just try to rekindle this whole feud. It's been lopsided from the rip. It looked like Super Bowl. This whole thing's been Super Bowl 59 all over again. Seth was whipping his ass, right? And then now the lost kid looked like he walking down the boulevard of broken dreams. You know what I mean? Finn Balor is still walking down the boulevard of broken dreams.
He looks like an ejected member of Green Day, doesn't he?
There's no saving this dude. So that's the biggest. That's the biggest problem I have with it. Is just you decent Raw. You ended it with that up until that. Like to me, that main event. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want to go back to Roxanne for a minute and something you brought up. You said cold entrance. What is that? What do you mean by that?
Cold entrance means by the time we came back from commercial break, for those who have ads, you saw her in the ring. Remember they went to her 2K25?
Yes.
And
all right. So
you know what I mean?
What I don't know if that's necessarily a WWE decision
or a Netflix decision,
or if that's a Netflix decision, because I would have to assume, because there are a lot of those. There are a lot of those night to night, right? Yeah. I think it's a Netflix decision. WWE is still going on like what would be normal times and different things like that, and then we're just getting the timings off.
Do you think Netflix is overriding that control? Like they don't know when they're going to break?
Part of me, there's no way that you do all these entrances when you have essentially unlimited time. There's no way you do these entrances. All not Pete Dunne. Who else got it? Dominic got it tonight.
Yeah, I mean
Dominic got. I don't know if Dakota and Ivy got it.
Ivy got it.
You know, it's weird looking at it.
What I think they're doing. Go ahead, Butters. I'm sorry.
I said it's weird looking at it from a commercial-free perspective because you're really not knowing commercial versus not commercial. Okay, they should be at a commercial break because it tells you coming back in X minutes.
Right.
It's a weird feel.
I would say I feel like based off what the three of us has talked about, I think the game plan is someone goes to Netflix and says, hey, or Netflix says, who needs an entrance? Whose entrance do you want uninterrupted? We saw that with Penta. You said Dakota Kai had one. You probably saw it with Seth and Finn, I'm assuming.
I had it muted because I was talking to someone right before the match.
I mean,
so
New Day in the ring. At least they got more TV time than they did last week. And you came in. I came back from the ad with them in the ring already.
I know it sounds weird and conspiracy theorist, but why does it sound like that everybody that's winning doesn't get the interruption, but the losers do?
That's probably not a coincidence.
Well, but
you may actually be on something.
Well, guys, go back to jobber entrances. Like when it first happened, when it happened on the Netflix show, the debut show on Netflix. Yeah. I actually messaged Jax because Jax and I on these bigger shows we talked throughout the whole show.
Right.
I messaged Jax. I was like, "Wait, jobber entrance?"
That's I almost felt like this, and I don't know how often it's going to happen, but I feel like it's happening more often. I would like to see, and this has only been we're 7, almost 8 weeks into the year of 2025. Like, don't treat these Raws as house shows. Like, I felt like Seth versus Finn with nothing else going on almost felt like to me a house show main event. Seriously, because you couldn't find anybody with him to do anything that was evolved in the EC, almost to the point where I thought, like, okay, well, shit, if it's Seth versus Finn and there's nothing else going on, maybe we get Roman coming back or Roman's.
I would have wished for a little bit of controversy on the ending.
Something, but
you still got a couple weeks till Chamber, so why not give us a little bit of controversy?
Exactly, and that's why I'm like, this would have been the perfect spot for your mid card title. You could have did your mid card, or shit, you did it in the past. I understand the action. Open with Seth versus Finn. You close with what we saw with Jey and Gunther. Get the crowd to go home hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you could have flipped this show on its head and had a pretty good go of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think you almost keep everything where it kind of sat.
Mm-hmm.
You just flip the show on its head with the opening and closing segments.
Yep.
Because it does feel like, the show just kind of ends.
Yes.
Right? And especially now with like when they do the executive producer bit, we don't get the title card in the bottom left anymore.
Yep.
We get that executive producer spot, and it's like it's very anticlimactic almost, because there's no true final shot. That's why last week was so good, and it almost took you back. And Pete, I think you might be able to attest this a little bit more because, no offense, you're a little bit older than we are, right? And hear me out when I say this. It takes you back to that Attitude Era ending when there's a beatdown going on, and you're like, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah, the unpredictability of it. Yeah.
Yeah, because for you at that time, you had the wherewithal to understand what was going on, and for me, I was just like, oh, they're just gonna finish fighting.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
There's some truth to that, and I'm glad we got that. We saw more of what happened with New Day. But like you said,
I wish that would have opened the show.
That could have opened, honestly. And here's the thing: you have to rely on. If I'm Trips, if I'm Lee Fitting, you open with Seth and Finn, it's going to be hot anyway.
Yes,
because then you could have chose 9 o'clock hour Jey and Gunther. And then you could have gave me the Sammy Adam Pierce interaction to end the show to say it's unsanctioned.
Oh wait, no, that's right. That opened the show.
That's what really opened. But you could have closed because then now you could have even had maybe where KO was at. I don't know. Braun Breaker's been on a milk carton, man. I just don't understand. Like we're not talking about the IC title at all.
Well, hold on. We'll get to Braun. Hold on. There's a lot to unpack there. I forgot that Sammy opened the show. I love that segment. I think you keep that exactly where it was. I thought that was one of Sammy's better segments. And it also, you got to see a little bit more of Adam Pearce. And they acknowledge the fact that Adam Pearce has been around for a while. He's not just a WWE corporate guy. Mm-hmm. And I really like that. We're kind of leaning into that a little bit more. Hopefully we see Adam get a little physical soon, too.
Right.
If he can. I know Aldis can. I would love to see that. But I think if you're going to do these shock value finales, like final shots, like the New Day beating up on Rey Mysterio, that should be one of the first things you address the next week.
Yes.
It shouldn't be, again, for lack of a better phrase, a filler spot.
Right.
In the third hour.
Exactly.
Right? Because New Day doesn't get their entrance. They're in the ring already, which is fine. Okay. They say a little bit. They get booed out of the building, which is okay. That's fine. But then you have the LWO come out. God bless Dragon Lee. That's all I'm going to say. He tried. And then you have 3 guys beat up on 2 guys. Of course, that's good. Like we didn't further anything.
And then you could have furthered it if you have those 2 leave those 3 in their wake, which would have made the New Day look even stronger. You see what I'm saying? Like you talk about 3 dudes who single-handedly haven't won one title. I think Dragon Lee may be North American champion.
Yes.
You had a King of the Ring, one of the all-time greats, probably one of the most title reigns in your company in its history, and they run it. I just look at leave the chips where they are. Just change them, the outcomes of how we do things.
Well, and
the sequencing.
And I think with the New Day heel turn, taking out Rey Mysterio a bit, I think that's fine. You don't have another powerhouse though in the LWO. Like to your point, they should steamroll the LWO.
Yep. And
move on to something else. But then the question is, what do you move on to next?
Yep.
And then we look at Braun Breaker, who he's not been on a milk carton.
I haven't seen him.
He was on TV tonight.
He could have wrestled.
It was almost a bad spot. Believe it or not, Dominic Mysterio, I think, saves this spot.
Okay.
AJ beats Dominic. AJ celebrating. Braun comes out. Looks to spear AJ. AJ barely misses it. And he's really close to Dom when he turns around. That sidestep, but Dom jumped at the right time, and the spear looked beautiful. He looked like he broke Dominic Mysterio, which was great. Perfect. And then AJ hits him, I think, with the Pele, throws him out of the ring. Braun takes his shirt off, throws it at AJ's direction. AJ with the smoothest catch I've ever seen. Caught it in one hand, and he caught it in one hand and tossed it to the other hand, all in one fluid motion. We
do things like that when you're in your 40s, yeah.
And then there was a real awkward stare between the two.
But isn't that kind of how, and Butters, you could chime in, me and Rich to be quiet on this. If I'm not mistaken, I always feel like when Braun moves on to someone else, it always starts with a backstage interaction, and then we get some type of physical interaction the next week. Am I right or wrong in that, Butters? Right?
No, you're not wrong. You're absolutely right, because, I mean, look at it with AJ. Last week, Braun had a little interaction. This week, out comes Braun to spear him. It's almost Goldberg-esque of saying you're next.
without saying you're next. Okay.
Exactly.
I thought it was just me. I thank you for clarifying that and making it seem like I'm not losing my mark.
I feel like maybe now with him spearing Dominic, we're going to get some sort of triple threat between the three. And this is where you potentially see Dominic get a singles title. To weasel his way into a win, because we know he can't win it naturally.
I don't necessarily hate it per se. And we talked about it last week. We brought it up, all these things, all these triple threats, all these multi-man matches heading into WrestleMania. You want to get everybody on the card. Is it just me? And take out when it was the IC title ladder match, essentially.
Right.
Excuse me, for 2 or 3 years at WrestleMania. The IC title match has always been a triple threat or more match at WrestleMania for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
At least it's what it feels like. I can't tell you the last one-on-one contest we had for the IC title.
Right.
Right. I would argue. Oh no, last year was it just Sammy Gunther last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
The year before that, I want to say it was Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus.
All right, so prior to last year, but it's. I don't think Gunther works well in triple threat matches anyway, but that's just me. No. But it's just one of the things where it's I don't know if we want to do that with Dominic right now. It would really depend on where this Judgment Day story is going, and they're really hard pushing this new member bit. Finn's very much against the new member, very much against the new member. I could see them bringing in the new member and kicking Finn out. And
you could have Dom win the title,
and that's what I'm saying, right? In order for that to work, Dom has to have some kind of goal.
I have a name, and I've heard this floated out. Now
I just don't know if I can wait 10 weeks for that.
So I have a name. I'll give you a name to fill that void that you just discussed. And here's the thing. Liv has her muscle and Raquel. Dom doesn't. There's somebody who just returned from Far East, was a champion, vacated his title as part of a faction, and is a big SOB. And has had previous WrestleMania matches as of 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. It's 4 letters. The last one is an S.
Oh, where I was going.
Hold on. Say
his. I'm sorry.
No. Dude, I went to the same bit. Don't worry.
I was thinking Miro, but that's.
No, we're gonna bring them up in a minute because the whole Ricky Starks on NXT and everything.
We don't know if that's going to be his name yet. They're doing a very good job with that.
But that's who we're calling Ricky Starks.
Yes.
But because I think there's legality, because I think he technically owns his name, so I think that's why they're hesitating on it. I think I was reading that somewhere. But give me the clues again.
So if you just with Dom and Liv being the couple, Liv has her muscle,
right?
Based on what Butters just said, Dom still being this weasel-esque honky tonk man heel, right? Win at all costs. Don't win on my own merit. Get help. I think with this new member is a guy who is still with the company who needed some polish. He's gotten better from what we've heard and what we've seen. And when you get sent to Japan, I mean, it's either sink or swim.
Oh, God, no.
Butters figured it out. He's a big SOB. His name is 4 letters and it ends with an S. And he's been on WrestleMania cards in the past.
Oh,
why the fuck am I blanking?
As soon as you said New Japan, I knew who exactly you were talking about. Yep. Former tag team champion in New Japan, if that helps you there, buddy.
That doesn't fucking help me one bit.
What was he part of Ingo de Nobles de Japón over there?
Something like that, yeah.
The second letter is an M. And the other 2 letters in the 4 letters are the same. Jesus.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Say it.
Omos.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
So,
I'm saying,
to be fair, I didn't know he went to Japan.
yeah, they sent him to Japan. But that's what I'm saying. Or
Apparently
you break up the Judgment Day.
Really good over there too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You break up the Judgment Day, and then you just have Liv, Raquel, Omos, Dom, and Dom. That 4. And you really don't need anyone else at that point. You just have muscle that always gets involved.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not terrible. I just don't like Omos with Dom.
I mean, he kind of did the same thing with AJ Styles.
That made I didn't like that either. I was almost going to say that made a little bit of sense, but man, no, I don't like that one damn bit. There's got to be somebody else. But let's. We know that the Elimination Chamber matches are set, right?
Yep.
We've kind of been dogging on the product a little bit for the last half an hour.
What about what we were talking about before we came on? Because I know Pete really wanted to talk about it.
What?
The ref.
What? All right.
He had a little something in his brain because, during this match for Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, referee counted 3, but said it was 2. Crowd was booing, F you ref chants. I mean, it was a very hard, yes, it was a 3, but the ref said 2. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Because I didn't see it, I'll go just without seeing it, right? Remember the first thing we said before we started recording, I said, was it for Finn? And you said, no, it was for Seth. If that's the case, if the person that's supposed to go over in the match accidentally gets a 3 count, end the match. Just end it. You can fill 4 minutes with. You can call audible. Finn get pissed, attack him after the bell, carry that out to the end. Do whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it was Seth, if it was Finn, then yeah, I can understand that maybe. But remember the one thing we won't mention, he who should not be named, is the ref's decision is final. So if you hear, just go with it. Why are you scared? That's just me. I didn't see it. I don't know how the match was flowing.
As refs have always been told, if they don't get the shoulders up, that's on them. 3 counts, a 3 count. Hit the 3.
So that's my take.
It actually happened earlier in the night too with the AJ Dom. The crowd started counting 1, but the ref looked and Dom's shoulder was up, double checked it. AJ repositioned just a little bit because it was out of the Styles Clash and got the shoulder down, and then he counted the 3.
Wow. I don't know. Some shoddy shit going on, boys.
Refs be lacking. Sounds like the Chiefs again. I mean,
That's 2 times we brought up the Super Bowl. Still riding the high there, Pete.
I wish I'd have had my hats on. My gear just came in. I mean, this felt different because this is like, hey, like you were supposed to be here. You were the better team. This didn't feel like. I'm trying to think.
It didn't feel as underdog as we did in 2020.
Right. This wasn't Mankind in the pallet match going over on Sunday Night Heat pre-taped during the Super Bowl. This was not that. This was more WrestleMania 14, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Shawn Michaels with Mike Tyson as a special guest referee or special guest referee. This is what that felt like. You knew going into it like you should win. And I don't know. This is the thing. I don't know.
This is more like Brett and Austin because it was the double turn.
Yeah, I can see that. But like the Eagles have done a really good job at doing unscripted where they kind of do behind the scenes. And there's a point, it's like only 12 minutes, and they do it for the week of the Super Bowl. And Saquon Barkley gets out there. He's like, listen, as the week's going on, I'm watching more film, and I don't know if you guys feel it, but he pretty much says, like, these guys can't fuck with us. Like, we're that much better than them.
Is it the one that they dropped today?
Yes.
So I saw it at work. I had to send it to myself. I'm watching it after we record.
Yeah. But it was pretty much that like they can't, on paper they can't.
Well, so like we won, right? Eagles win.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go fast forward to the parade.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed watching them go down the streets more than I enjoyed the speeches. A lot of the speeches were awful.
Yes, the 2018 group, that team, from a personality aspect and being extroverted, was a lot. It's almost like they were in excitement of being there because they didn't. I don't know if they didn't think they could win it, but it was more of a surprise. Where this team felt more like this is a mission. They all harkened back to what the shirt said 2 years ago when the Chiefs won 0 sacks. So this was X marks the spot. Like this is who they wanted to play.
I liked Landon Dickerson's.
Oh yeah.
I will say this till the day I die. I love Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you dare put a live microphone in front of that man ever again.
You can't put a live mic because he's always going to say the politically correct thing.
Not even that. I say the politically correct thing. That's fine. At least look like you're enjoying saying it.
That's what I'm saying. He always has his guard up, bro. Always.
Like, the man was like I followed unknowingly. I followed him all week long.
Because he's from Houston, right?
Well, yeah, but also he started media in Disney.
Okay.
Right? You know, me and Chuck were talking about it and everything like that. The man's on Tron with the same look. The man standing in front of the castle. He's on the float parade with Mickey.
Yeah.
My God, man, crack a smile.
Same thing, bro. Like,
he goes on Jimmy Fallon. And they do this backstage interaction. It's Saquon and Jimmy, and like Jimmy and Saquon are just like, yeah, you're not gonna smile at all. Cool, got it. Like that's the vibe. I'm like, this is.
Did you hear what he said on Fallon? He told Jimmy, he's like, yeah, I didn't think I would find myself in that position. Like how he has to sit on Tron. So he's always constantly thinking, man. Like it's always the guard is up. He won't let himself relax. I mean, but when he does. You kind of see him that one shot where he is sitting on the ground after the game, cigar in his mouth, and he's listening to Frankie Beverly and Maze, who that song came out probably when I was in single digits. And this dude we're older than all three of us are older than he's an old soul, dude. He's just an older cat.
Yeah, and mad respect to Howie.
Yes.
If anybody says anything bad about Howie Roseman,
he took a can to the face, boy.
And then he walked up there and he started. You couldn't script that any better. Takes the can to the dome. I bleed for this city. Yeah, man, you do.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to wrestling.
Wrestling.
Good old fashioned wrestling.
All I know is, and Chrome said it last thing of the Eagles. Chrome said it wonderfully, and if he's watching, I hope I'm not overstepping here. I know his mom and my mom were sitting up there watching it and loved every.
My mother-in-law too.
Minute.
My mother-in-law too.
And I got real emotional watching it on Friday. So, but back to some good old fashioned wrestling. Elimination Chamber is set for the men and the women, with Roxanne punching her ticket to join the women's match and Seth punching his ticket to join the men's match. We kind of already talked about it a little bit last week, but I don't think we need to really focus on the men's side as far as who's going to win. What I want to talk about, though, is we know with Jey announcing he's going to take on Gunther, does that change anybody's thoughts? Does officially adding Seth to the match change anything for anybody? Do we still think it's going to be John going on to take on Cody?
Whoever wins that match is going.
What are you doing down there?
His shoulders. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
John Cena.
Looking like
El Torito.
Looking like El Torito on steroids down there.
This is a very good point. They said if Cena wins it, which makes sense, and he goes against Cody still wins at Mania because you can't. To me, you don't have the farewell tour start with the end, because he's only doing this to get to 17.
Well, and I don't think you can do the farewell tour and have some of like the quote unquote dream matches I think you're gonna have with him being champion. Because shut the hell up. For argument's sake, no disrespect to the man involved. Let's say he does wrestle Joe Hendry. Hendry ain't winning the damn title.
Yep.
Let alone the match.
You can probably I think they have enough time to get to a point to where you can do John Cena versus Joe Hendry for the TNA title at a WrestleMania. Call me crazy. But
I'm gonna call you crazy because it would have to happen this year.
Yeah, of course.
And that would I would go bananas. I would go absolutely bananas. I ultimately think John still loses at WrestleMania. And if the rumors are true and they're doing the Ruthless Aggression PLE in Boston on his last night, I think he wins the title, shows up on Raw on Monday, and vacates the title.
I will do you one better, and then Butters, you can talk, and me and Rich will shut up. I will say that plan that you just laid out is, I am with it, but I would be even more sold on it depending on who wins the men's Money in the Bank this year. Because I think that's the perfect cash-in spot.
Ooh, yeah, no. Especially if you give it to a heel. But go ahead, Butters.
I'm thinking Melo is going to win Money in the Bank. I'm early saying this in February.
I think LA Knight will get it.
Either you can LA Knight, and then you want to get somebody heat real quick. Last night in Boston, cash in on him
on 17.
I think you do have Cena win it at Mania, and you have him defend it against all these dream matches throughout his retirement tour, and end it in Boston. You can either have him win it and somebody cash in, or you have him lose it in Boston. But you do everything, begin at Mania, end it in Boston, win it all, lose it all.
Here's the only problem I see with that. At least for me, this could be personal, right? You guys may or may not agree with it, and quite frankly, I don't give a damn. But if you put the belt on Cena at WrestleMania, and you do all these dream matches, Joe Hendry's, Mello, LA Knight, I'm just gonna pick random names here at this point. Trick Williams,
Punk once won.
Punk, right? I know going into that match, if it's, let's just assume again for the moment, it's for the title. I know going into that match, they're not winning.
Yep.
Right? So it takes out the excitement of it, because I want this tour. What I want from this tour is for him to be fighting every step of the way for a goal. And the goal is 17. We've established that, right? So fight and fight and fight and fight. Not lose everything, right? Like he's going to win Elimination Chamber, but he'll lose WrestleMania. He's going to win at... Hell, here you go. Let him win the Money in the Bank. He's never officially held it. Let him win the Money in the Bank. He can toy with it, tease it. You fast forward to Ruthless.
Cena's won Money in the Bank before. He was the first loser.
That is true, yeah. So I can still see that. Here's the thing. All I know is unequivocally, I do not want him to win it at Mania. I want to see him. And mind you, he did state he put himself in an Elimination Chamber, and it's one of the first times he's ever said after PLE, he said it over PLE, after the press conference, he said, I feel like I've earned it. I'm putting myself in an Elimination Chamber. And Punk and those have already said, oh, there's 5 other guys, and we're not, someone put themselves in it. I think he either wins it at Ruthless, or I think he wins it on night 2 of SummerSlam. We're forgetting SummerSlam now this year is 2 nights. Huge. and he has a track record at SummerSlam. I think we get Cody Cena 2 at SummerSlam, and then Cena wins then. That's just me. It's those two spots. But you can hear me say it ain't Mania. It's two. You can't, like you said, Rich wants to see him fighting. You can't have a farewell tour with him as champion. That, to me, that's just not believable.
So he won it in 12. That's why I don't remember it.
Were you 12 then, sir?
No. So 2012 is right around when, I'm not going to get into my reasons why.
Okay.
But it was hard for me to watch wrestling at that time. So I probably missed the show altogether because I don't remember watching any of this. All right, so moving on. Yeah, I'm not getting into that on air.
No.
Sorry, I was reading that. You guys continue what you were talking about.
No, I mean, me and Butters wants to see all things happen for good sakes at WrestleMania. He wants the story to be told so quickly.
Well, Butters is, and I love Butters. I do. But Butters lives in the world where the good guy wins all the time, and it's still real to him some days, damn it.
Well, this isn't that. I mean, and if we were going against Cody, there would be story versus story. Honestly.
Yeah.
Story versus story.
Cody's got to drop it sometime.
Now is not the time.
No.
I'm just saying.
Now is not. I mean, it would be so predictable, but like we said, they don't want to do things for the sake of doing things, even though it would be a good moment. Now what? What are we doing? Like, my man isn't going to Turkey or Istanbul, going to see Rogaine. The top shot of John's head has a bald spot in it now. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Well, and like, we know that he's doing the London tour, right? But he's not going to go do France for Clash at France or whatever the fuck they're calling it.
Clash at Paris or something? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever the hell we're calling it, he's not going to do that. I don't see him doing that, right? And they're not going to not have the title in the big title in those events, right? I don't see him doing Crown Jewel because that one's going to be close to the end of his run anyway, right? So there are international things I don't see him doing. Right. I don't know why I really like him winning the Money in the Bank and going on to winning it in Boston. Assuming that that pay-per-view is in Boston. There's talk of doing it at Madison Square Garden, where he won his first title ever when he won the U.S. title at WrestleMania 20. So there's talks of doing that. I like him winning on his last night and then vacating it.
It would be a redemption of sorts to cash in and win the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and if you do it, and let's just say they do it right before the holidays. Let's say it's the week before Christmas. They do that show. You can have the title up in arms because the next week he'll come out and vacate it. So the week of New Year's, you don't have a champion like they're. What do we do? Everybody's kind of making their case, vying for it. You either announce a tournament that gets you to a champion at the Royal Rumble, or the Rumbles for the title.
Once again. I wouldn't mind seeing that again in the Rumble.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
I don't think it's a bad idea every so often that the winner of the Rumble ends up winning the title.
You could do that, or like, do you think there's by the end of this year they'll have somebody propped up that's like a no doubt? That's why I said the Money in the Bank winner means a lot. It means a lot every year, but like, say if for some instance Jacob wins Money in the Bank, it's believable if he cashes in on John Cena after a match after he wins 17, and you're on his way out, he's propping up the next star.
Absolutely.
Or Braun Breaker, somebody like that.
Right. And like I said, I don't hate the idea of somebody cashing in on him at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I also like the idea of us going into the Rumble with potentially a title on the line. It's something different because then it throws the whole WrestleMania season for a whirlwind. Yep. Because now, do you do Elimination Chamber? Who do they fight? Like, makes Elimination Chamber a little bit more important. Then you still got to set up the other match, and you start stacking and building, and you have more time to do things with more people.
Yep.
So,
question for you? Wow, I know we're kind of bouncing around, but that's why we do this like we do.
I love this.
I feel like now EC is the Chamber as a PLE is probably gonna have a higher number of matches on it than I've expected, because I think the cat's out in the bag. They said Rhea Io.
Yeah, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah,
what?
Rhea Io.
So pretty much it was Rhea accidentally cost Io her chamber.
We know
match.
that, but where did they announce it?
When I looked this morning, when I was building the show and everything like that, I looked at the card. Mm-hmm. It's not there.
Yeah, they're saying it's supposed to be for March 3rd, Monday Night Raw, for the Io.
When Schmucky the Clown said it tonight on air, that was the first time I've heard that it's happening at the Chamber.
Yeah.
So unless
now you got Kevin Sammy at the Chamber.
Unless somebody misspoke.
Yeah, because it was Bianca and Naomi. They were having their interaction where they were following up on the fact that Liv and Raquel were seen photoshopped into the video of them causing a damage, doing that to Jade, and Bianca was like, "Yo, well, you can't sleep on Io because she has that match first with Rhea at Chamber." That was my eyes opened up wide and my ears perked up because I'm like, when was this happening?
She didn't say after Chamber?
No, she said at Chamber.
At Chamber.
Because last I heard it was the March 3rd Raw or some shit like that.
Which is dumb. Why not just do it at Chamber?
Because so if you do that, then you have Kevin Sammy, so that's 4 matches. Because the Chamber matches is what? Everybody, there's a Chamber 5-minute first interval, and then somebody else gets released from the Chamber.
Chambers are going a good 45 minutes to an hour.
So all right, so let's say 45, not an hour and a half to 2 hours for both Chamber matches, and then you need to probably fill another hour with 2 other matches. Kevin Sammy's probably going to be, and I'm actually kind of pissed that we're getting it now.
I wanted it for Mania so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe we still might. Maybe this match goes all AWOL.
I think we get Orton coming back, and then we get Orton Owens for Mania,
which I'm fine with. Yeah. Right? We know we have the Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus, Nia Jax, Candice LeRae tag team match, which
that's for Chamber.
Yeah, I'm excited because I love Trish. I think Trish and Tiffany's going to be great.
Yeah. Anybody.
What I'm not excited for is it was obvious you were going to do something with Trish when you showed her in the crowd. Because she don't just show up to SmackDown.
Yep.
Number one. And number two, we know that match is going to end probably with Trish losing because Charlotte's going to attack Tiffany.
I'm tired of seeing 5-face on my screen. And she's not, and her knee's not 100% at all. So I don't know if it's ring rust, whatever. This is another one that she does. I'm already fast forward. Tiff better win at Mania.
I hope so.
And anybody who fights me and says, "Oh, I told somebody," I was like, "Yeah, like when Tiff is way more natural than Charlotte." I was like, "No, she's not." I'm like, "Listen, fam, Tiff is on her first face. Those cheekbones is makeup. That's not her actual bone."
Do you want to know how hard it was to find a picture to use for the thumbnail today?
Bro, because she looks different every 2 years. It's a different face.
Brother. It was the hardest thing I have ever done.
Put some of those resources on the other side of your body.
Like, and we try not to include the WWE title because of logos and different things.
Right.
So trying to find one without the logo and where she looked like relatively halfway decent, just in the face. Was a pain. It's like I don't really know how to Photoshop, but I'm about to try.
I don't know what it is where it's not like your face is getting broken or doing this or you're forced to do it. You're
just doing it yourself.
Voluntarily
it's mutilation.
I
don't know either. But
she's still the GOAT from an in-ring.
No, absolutely.
But they need to do more with her personality. Like she's not her just showing up and being a tweener, not knowing what to do, what to say. I can't.
No, she's a heel, and I think that's partly the universe problem, right? Nobody likes her per se because she's been a heel for so long, and then you come back and she won the Rumble. I think that was the worst thing they could have done.
Yep.
In the same one where you bring back Alexa Bliss,
and
the pop that Bliss got, you have her,
which was a true surprise.
Yeah, you have Charlotte win the Rumble of all people. I didn't, and then you had no shot at Nikki Bella, but you had Nikki Bella at number 30. Like you really didn't have. You sent Charlotte up for failure.
Yeah,
and then you send her out on Monday Night Raw. She got booed out of the building. Yeah,
and honestly, I don't know why she had to come back at Rumble. The vignettes were coming 4 weeks ahead of time. She could have came back then. And she was still got a pop. To the one, I will tell you, one version of Charlotte I can get on board with for this run if she beats Tiff is if she now has her own horsewoman. She's never had that.
Yeah.
To be a leader of a stable. She's like throw Zoe, throw Shayna. I wish you could have threw Nia in there. Do something. Though, you know what I mean? Or like Last Legend or somebody like that, somebody that's muscular, powerful. Do that, give her that, and then that's something different.
Yeah, because there's no depth to her character.
No, at all.
None. Like
I'm the queen. I'm the queen of what?
Yeah, you're the queen of nothing.
Queen of scalpels is what you the queen of.
Ooh.
Queen of divorces, maybe.
Shit.
No, that's her daddy.
No, he's the king of divorces.
No, I said what I said.
Charlotte, we're not coming at you on a personal level. It's you handle your business in the ring. You're great. We love your work. It's just I wish we can see more of your true personality, man.
Because she's got it. Like you see her do all the stuff outside the ring, whatever have you. And she's got a personality. And then the light goes red inside the arena, and
she's the jailing her to WWE.
Oh, that hurt. I shouldn't have done that. Oh
my God.
Yeah, I got a bad shoulder, and it said no. Oh. I don't know. This road to WrestleMania right now feels different.
Yep.
Right, Jey, I'm excited for. It what?
I said it feels exciting.
Huh?
I don't know. This is
it feels exciting.
You knew him first.
Do we watch the same product? All right, no, we're gonna do this right now. Tell me, how does it feel exciting?
I don't know. I just feel
No. You said it though. You opened your mouth. Your brain said, "Say this. This is good." Now you have to defend it. And if the words "I don't know" come out of your mouth, I am beating you senseless
with the right arm.
Yes, left arm.
Were you a Bisquick eater?
Bisquick eater. Says a guy that has met the Colonel one too many times.
No, I just been at church one too many times. Church is chicken, baby.
Why would you say that about yourself?
Because I can.
Self-mutilation, remember?
Yeah,
Do what?
clearly.
All right, well, no, Butters. Why are you excited about it?
To me, this one feels a little more exciting. The chamber match, John Cena's final, run. Jay's getting a shot at the gold at Mania.
The only thing I agree with you so far.
I could care less about Charlotte getting, versus Tiffy only if Tiffy wins. I don't know. I feel a little more excited this year.
So speaking
last year, hold up. No.
I said in some years past. I didn't say last year. I said in some years past. You didn't let me finish, jackass.
No, you did finish. You stopped.
So on that thought, right, Butters, run down the contenders in the women's elimination chamber, because that winner's going to go on to face Rhea.
So who
makes you the most excited?
I'm not letting this go for a while.
Bailey, Roxanne. Who else is in there?
Homie, look it up.
I think Naomi, Roxanne, Io. So that's what that's 3.
Looking it up right now. I'm an idiot. Give me 2 seconds, and there we go.
25.
Liv, Bianca, Alexa, Bailey, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. I don't see Roxanne or Bailey winning it. I think they're just going to feud, just eliminate each other somehow.
You know what? I would pick Roxanne as the sleeper here.
Roxanne versus Rhea?
Yeah, if you had to pick a long shot, and I always say a long shot because they haven't officially moved Roxanne up yet. They're kind of giving her that opportunity to make, to prove herself that she is ready for the main roster. Not that she hasn't in NXT,
right?
But like when you look at everybody else on there, I can do different things with them leading into WrestleMania week. Whereas with Roxanne, all you're going to do is send her back to fight Julia for the title. But given the Jordan Grace arrival, who's Jordan going to go after? Stephanie or...
There's some big submission women in NXT right now between Zarya.
What'd you say?
It's the women's division in NXT is some strong people.
You also got Cora Jade, who's doing really well now.
I mean, she's doing better. I want to say she's doing really well.
Really well, but going back to the Elimination Chamber,
I don't see Bianca and Naomi doing anything other than
because those two are going to feud.
Yeah, because we're going to see one of those two are the ones that attack, Jade.
That's going to come out either right before the Chamber. It may come out at Chamber where one eliminates the other, and it's kind of revealed that she's the one that did Jade in, whatever have you, blah blah.
The winner of this is standing out to me like the size of Omos.
Like then you've got Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss. Are you really going to want to run it back one more time with Liv?
There's
and Rhea
only one winner here, 2 maybe. Alexa or Bianca. That's it.
I think Alexa's the easy win here.
Yes.
Right, and that's why, like, if you take Alexa out, right, who do I want to see win it? I think it's Roxanne, because I think she has truly, like, it's not even for fun. She has done all she can do down in NXT. She has wrestled everybody down in NXT. It's time to come up and play with where the big boys play.
See, I would beg to differ, but what the plan that I think that does better has more moving parts, and that I think that it should be Bianca versus Rhea, but Bianca as a heel, which means Bianca has to come out. They have to come out with some story like, hey, it wasn't Liv and Raquel who did this. Her and Naomi dropped the tag titles, and it was Jade, and then Bianca is the one who did it. But that's what I said, there's a lot more moving parts. But from a match standpoint, I like that better. I like Alexa as well. Now, remember, they usually do the brand split right after this. If they're keeping Alexa on SmackDown and the Wyatt Six is coming back, that's a perfect tie-in right there.
Right. But I think that going the route of Bianca as a heel, I think that's inevitable. But I think we either get Bianca Jade at WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
We get Bianca, Naomi, Jade at WrestleMania. Maybe Naomi takes a heel turn there too. I don't necessarily know per se.
We could see Jade versus Bianca and Naomi because maybe both of them could have taken her out because say Bianca's tired of carrying Jade. Naomi wanted to team with Bianca and have those tag title run with Bianca. So maybe they both took her out and now it's just going to be 1v2 in a handicap match.
Thanks for finishing my sentence for me.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But anyway, my point there. Thank you very much, Butters. Maybe not necessarily for the reasoning. Like I probably would tweak the reason a little bit, right? And I don't know if I would go the route of a handicap match per se because
just to show off Jade's strength.
Well, no, but then you could also go. No, that doesn't need to be shown off, right? I think you go the route of, it was originally Naomi and Bianca that took out, Naomi and Bianca. They kind of colluded to take out Jade because Naomi's really been a heel the whole time, and she kind of got inside Bianca's head. But then they dropped the tag titles because it's Bianca's fault or Naomi's fault. I'm sorry. So then Bianca turns on Naomi, and now there's a moving parts of triple threat, and everybody's got beef with everybody. Because Jade would have beef with both of them for taking them out. Naomi would have beef with Bianca for costing them the titles, right? And so on and so forth. When you look at the Rhea match, Rhea Alexa makes the most sense. I think you have the most fun with that. Roxanne Rhea, I think, tells a better story than Bailey Rhea, right? I think
visually appealing. I mean,
stop it!
I'll behave.
And I think it's better than if you went Bailey Roxanne that weekend, whether it's at WrestleMania or Stand and Deliver or whatever have you. Because what are the stakes there? Why are they doing that?
Right.
8 weeks after Elimination Chamber. That's the thing. We have to remember that whatever happens at Elimination Chamber has to be able to carry itself for 8 weeks, 7 or 8 weeks, whatever the true number is, until WrestleMania.
Right.
Right. So Alexa Rhea has a great longevity there. And that's where I think Roxanne Rhea has a great longevity there. Right? Because they're two polar opposites of each other.
I mean,
right?
And if you go that Rhea Roxanne route, I mean, you just, trial by fire. Let's see what she does. Throw her in there.
Well, but I think she's going to do really well. And then you also have to factor in, she is an incredibly, she might truly be the most decorated NXT female superstar of all time.
Who's that? Roxanne?
Yeah. Breakout star, Iron Survivor, tag champion, women's champion, 2-time women's champion.
Yep.
Okay. I mean,
and we would have to go back and look because certain things like Breakout Star and Iron Survivor didn't exist. The tag team champion didn't exist. So not a level playing field all the way around. But and Rhea was a big name in NXT for a long time.
I remember she ended Shayna's undefeated. Well, not undefeated streak, but was Shayna undefeated?
Yeah, Shayna was undefeated.
I mean, she got carried. She got lifted up on people's shoulders. She was lifted up on the shoulders.
Yeah, so Rhea was big in NXT for a while. So I think you can do a great play there. Especially if you don't bring Roxanne to Raw. Yeah, to Raw right away. If you let them play it on both shows back and forth a little bit, play some mind games with each other.
She needs it down. Like, this is the time for her. She put NXT in her rearview mirror because
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, not even like it's a call up, but not an official call up. I would love for her. The only thing I think that would be better for her, and it sucks because we just saw Dakota Kai win the number 1 contendership, right, for the IC title. But to me, Roxanne Perez is a perfect Intercontinental title.
I agree, but I ultimately think somehow that's going to be Bayley versus Dakota.
Bayley versus Dakota for the title.
Yeah.
I mean, you could. But because the IC title is there now, I think Roxanne definitely. It's just too. So now, like, let's just look at the NXT women's landscape, right? Julia champion, Stephanie Vaquer, NXT North America champion.
Yes, sir.
NXT North America champion. Then challengers, you got Zarya, you got the established names already. You got Zarya, you got Jordan Grace. Then let's go to homegrown NXT talent. You got Sol Ruka, you got Last Legend, you got trying to think who else they have in it. Kalani Jordan, who's on the verge of a severe crash out. Cora Jade. You just have so much talent.
Crash out?
Huh?
Why is Kalani gonna crash out?
Yeah, she been losing. Every week she gets like the mirror cracks a little bit more before this bit shatter. It's going to shatter.
I thought it was
she's gonna lose her shit.
I thought it was for something different. I didn't.
No.
I thought you knew something I didn't know. I was like, wait the fuck.
No. The losing, the constant losing. Remember, she came in like this whole wholesome girl, like baby face over top of baby face.
You have Jada Parker. And then you could even argue Fallon.
Fallon, I forgot about Fallon. You got Fallon who just dropped it. You got Jada. You got Lola Vice. Like you got. There's nothing she could do there in NXT anymore.
Exactly. You don't have any story there. No. I think, and I said it before, bringing Bayley down to NXT was kind of like a trial run to figure out if Roxanne is ready. So you don't want to go back and revisit the Roxanne Bayley feud on the main roster. You did that already. I already watched it. Yeah. So now what do? Well, she's hot in NXT. She's been hot on the main roster. Let's put her up against Rhea. See if she can hold her own against Rhea. Whether she wins or loses, right? Which I don't think she wins. I don't think you do that right away. It's a good showing for her.
And Rhea is a unicorn from the standpoint
because they also put a lot of, and I'll let you finish. They put a lot of time into Roxanne in the Rumble.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, she's an hour and 7 minutes, the all-time leader now.
1 hour, 7 minutes, 47 seconds. I think it's
so. Rhea to me is the female version of Drew McIntyre. It's like the perfect size, not too small, not too big. Can work with bigger wrestlers, can work with smaller wrestlers. But I think something that one of Rhea's best quality is she sells her ass off.
Yes.
And for us, when you're working with this, like even with Alexa Bliss, if she wins the chamber, working with the smaller opponent, you have to be able to make their opponent believable and make their moves look good. She can do that. So she can do that with Roxanne. She could do that with Alexa. We've seen her do it, right? So, yeah, it's the women. We said this. We say it time in, time out. And WWE's women's division is it literally is the foundation of what they have.
Yes.
And that's every brand. Like we haven't even talked about SmackDown and their women's division over there. That may be somewhat quasi the weakest one, honestly.
Yeah.
So, but just some names on paper, maybe the weakest one. But isn't Becky did resign somewhere, right? Was that official?
I hadn't heard anything.
Me neither.
I will say this. Speaking of women's division, shout out to the 4-time AEW World Champion Toni Storm, the MVP of AEW. I will say, I wish she was given this ball to run with it in WWE, because I think the timeless stick would have got over so well.
I think the timeless thing would. I don't like talking about AEW a whole lot. We all know that.
Yeah.
I think the timeless thing would have gone over really well. I really wish that what's her name, Harley Cameron or whatever.
Yeah.
I think she's hysterical. I wish she would have beat Mercedes. I also can't stand Mercedes right now.
I wish she would have beat the brakes off of her too.
I just can't stand her. But AEW is stupid.
Of course. I mean, that's what, like, that's the booking. I wanted to give flowers to Tony.
And I'll give Tony the flowers. I'll give it. If I'm gonna give any Tony and AEW flowers, it's gonna be her.
I forgot his name was Tony.
Real quick before we go, because Butters brought it up this morning, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about this new faction in NXT.
Oh, Saquon Sugars.
I'm sorry.
The dude that
Stop it! No, we're joking, right?
No, the lone black guy in that group. His name is Saquon Sugars.
Who the hell names these people?
He's already been established. Like, these are talents they've already had.
Who names these people?
This is the I'm trying to think of a mashup name that I could give them. Retronexus.
Like, you literally had them
names.
You literally had them come out
right
like Retribution, looking like Retribution,
and then acting like Nexus or the Shield. And what did they do? They did a Shield powerbomb, but they didn't do it from the lift up. They kind of tossed the person in. What did they do about Oba?
Yeah.
They tossed Oba into the powerbomb.
They destroyed Oba.
And how are you gonna do and this is where I swear to God, if it's not Aleister Black, you do a faction
or Miro. It has to be one of the two.
It has to, but it makes more sense for Aleister Black. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can't do a faction of absolute nobodies. In
the Shield were absolute nobodies.
But they were established stars. Stars, not talent, stars.
I would say 2 of the 3 were Roman and Seth.
But they were established in NXT. Yeah. Like, people knew who they were. Because if you remember that first night, it was NXT, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose. It wasn't, oh, these guys are the Shield.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know what the plan here is.
It was no rhyme or reason. I can understand the first attack, but then you come back and attack the champion?
For what?
That was the one that threw me off. I was like,
and shut up with your message. And of all people, you attack Obafemi.
Exactly.
And granted, it was post-match, but Obafemi didn't whoop that ass.
Like, I would have been better off if you would have did that to Trick.
Yes.
So the names of the people in the faction are Dion Lennox, Cutler James, Saquon Sugars, and Osiris Griffin.
What kind of fucking names?
They listen. Them 4 dudes ain't making these decisions on their own.
Did somebody go into the random name generator on WWE? Here Comes the Pain.
And then I think Vic Joseph tried to say no. He didn't say it. He kind of leaned into. He's like, Dion Lennox. Last time we seen you was walking around backstage reading books. Like, bitch, how you go from reading books to being a scholar to this? This is Sean, Matt Bloom, aka Albert. I think that's and somebody else.
I want to know how that comes
shit
up.
At the wall, bro.
Like I this is where I'd love to be a fly in the room. We need a faction. We need 4 guys that are just gonna tear through our entire roster. We want the Shield 2.5.
Right, and then on top of that, to one up you, not talking about Vengeance Day, but let's go back to NXT Tuesday night. What is Sean Spears' faction? What is he? What are we doing?
Yeah, where did that come from? Like, no bullshit. When I saw that, because I totally forgot about Vengeance Day. I was working, totally forgot it started early.
Hey, I forgot about it too. I think I watched like 3 of the matches.
Congratulations. I didn't watch any of them. You got a leg up on me. When I saw it on Twitter, I was like, oh, this is the Spears faction. They attacked and whatever. This makes sense. Sean Spears are going for the title. I'm watching and I went, nope. That ain't any of them.
Yeah.
Like NXT's in that weird flux right now where most of it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I feel like they're starting to become AEW with all these factions.
We don't say those words. We don't put them in the same sentence.
It's like it's the champions and then it's everybody else.
Which is how it should be.
Right.
Right?
I mean, the Eddie Thorpe and Trick thing, that storyline, you got to have a couple non.
When did that turn into a strap match? By the way,
when Eddie Thorpe came out a couple weeks ago and beat the
not a couple. He did it. He did it Tuesday. I thought. Oh, it was last week.
Yeah, it was last week. He came out there and beat him with because it caused a lot of controversy online for a little bit.
Yes, and you can say why.
No, you can't.
I can.
You can. He can't. And I'm not letting either of you say it. If you can't figure it out, go back to school.
All you got to do, people who were mad, just go search Eddie Thorpe and you realize what his ethnicity is, and then you'll be
go read a book. Go read a book. Go pick a book.
What month is it?
Pick a social studies book that you. Damn it, Butters. Pick a social studies book that your kid has. Open it up to any page from 1800 to 80 years ago, and you'll know why.
I got 10 days left to be invincible, bitch.
God, wow, I can't believe we just said that. Damn it. We should have been in the show like 17 minutes ago. We would have been saved. Oh, we're all getting fired.
We weren't getting saved for anything, period. There's no saving us.
Anyway, Pete, take us home.
Javon Evans should have won on Veterans Day. But outside of that,
that's a hell of a take home.
A man had his jaw wire shut for 6 weeks and came in and lost, spitting up blood again. What was the point?
Damn it, man, take us home.
Secondly, catch us everywhere when this goes up. ATD Radio everywhere. It's your boy Pete, MEJU, main event Jey Uso. Ritz over here, Butters down there. I don't know if that's a ball spot in the back of his head or not. But with that being said, we appreciate you. The show will be up. Catch us everywhere your podcast can be listened to. And we out. Next Monday, we'll be back. Tuesday morning. One of them.
Something like that.
We'll put it up when it go up. You just make sure you watch it.